On January 13, 2019, Caleb Plant defeated Jose Uzcategui unanimously to become the IBF Super Middleweight Champion of the world. He would go on to stop Mike Lee in the 3rd round, Vincent Feigenbutz in the 10th, and largely outwork Caleb Truax to win another unanimous decision. Caleb would then take a massive step up in competition near the end of 2021 when he squared off against pound-for-pound king Saul Canelo Alvarez to potentially become the undisputed Super Middleweight Champion of the world. Plant spent the majority of the contest doing what he does best, jabbing and moving. Though Alvarez had impacted sweet hands with plenty of heavy shots throughout the fight, it would be a leaping left hook in the 11th round that would put Plant down. He would collect himself and attempt to continue the fight, but would be met by a series of additional power shots from Canelo, forcing the referee to stop the contest. Canelo Alvarez had just become the undisputed champion of the world. Following an 11-month recovery ring absence, Plant would serve as the co-main on the Wilder Helenius undercard. His opponent that night was the sturdy and proven super middleweight Anthony the Dog Dirrell. Plant would stick and move through 9 rounds of scrappy action before going hook for hook with the Dog. Plant's perfectly timed second hook upstairs put Dirrell to sleep in devastating fashion. A brisk 5 months later, and Plant would take to the ring again to face off against David Benavidez. In the clash of speed against power, Plant would do his thing for the first couple of rounds, with Benavidez on the other side of flashy combinations. That said, Plant would soon have his hard-earned work undone as the seemingly unstoppable power-punching Mexican stepped up the pace and began to drown Plant with heavy leather. With sparse fumes in the tank, Plant would step to the plate and see himself to the other side of the 12th and final round. The contest concluded in a unanimous decision victory for El Bandera Roja. Caleb Plant is currently 22-2, with 13 of those wins coming by way of knockout. He's been inactive since the Benavidez bout, but he's recently spoken about making his return soon. Whether that will be later this year or early next year, let's consider possible matchups for Plant moving forward. Seeing as Plant with the PBC, let's start by digging through their other super middleweights: Daniel Jacobs, Kyron Davis, and David Morrell. Jacobs hasn't fought since his controversial loss to John Ryder in February of 2022. Davis fought a no-nothing 8-rounder in January of this year, and Morrell made a 5th consecutive defense of his regular WBA belt when he slathered Yamaguchi Falco within the 1st round. Now, if it sounds like I'm dismissive of Jacobs and Davis in regards to them being potential opponents, well, it's because I am. They've either not fought in a substantial amount of time, or simply haven't fought at the same level that Plant has. Now, Morrell is the real ticket here for Plant, as if the two were to face off, and he came out the other side as the victor, he would then possess the regular WBA belt, which would do much the same as the WBC interim belt, which Plant just faced Benavidez for, as both would bring Plant back into contention for Canelo's continuing run at Undisputed. But let's not put the horse before the carriage here. Morrell, while a mere 9 professional fights deep, put forth a respectable amateur run where he racked up 49 wins and only suffered 5 losses. The kid has more than enough experience to give the 168-pound division all sorts of fits. That's all without mentioning his ruthless power and the fact that he's a southpaw, a breed of boxer that has always given the sport's best all types of trouble. That's not to say that Plant would be dead in the water, of course. While he marks up against heavy-handed boxers and, yes, was stopped by Canelo, he's otherwise proven to be just as tough as the rest of them. Not to mention, his style has given his 22 victims plenty of issues due to sweet hands' speed and defensive maneuverability. It's here that we should probably address the elephant in the room. Plant has already made it clear as to who he's looking to face next. In recent weeks, Plant has been calling to meet with the WBC middleweight champ Jamal Charlo in the ring to resolve their brewing beef. While that could be fun, I'm not going to give Plant a pass for fighting a boxer who has never fought at 168, much like I did not give Canelo much praise for his win against Charlo. Plus, Maul suffers the same issue as Daniel Jacobs. The guy hasn't fought in 28 months. This means we should broaden our horizons to the division as a whole. In terms of non-PBC fighters, we have just as many good options as we do meh options. Former champs have either moved to another division or have been way too inactive to be worth consideration. In regards to men who have fought recently, we have John Ryder and Sergey Derevyanchenko. Both are coming off of losses, albeit at different levels of competition and controversy, but both made good accounts of themselves. Ryder took everything post-surgery Canelo could pitch at him, and Derevyanchenko brought the heat to Jaime Munguia for the whole 36 minutes. Here we have another pressuring southpaw for Plant to try to outthink, and a granite-chinned counterpuncher to keep Plant honest. Both are fairly solid options, all things considered, and I'd personally be game for a Derevyanchenko fight, though the aged warrior does have father time in his rearview mirror. That said, for all of these older fighters as options, we can't overlook the Young Bucks climbing their way up the ranks. Could Plant put a halt to Christian Mbali's 25-0 run? Would experience outshine the youthful fury of Diego Pacheco? And could Plant's tactical mind see him to be the first to officially outdo Jaime Munguia? All good questions, albeit ones that have their answers elsewhere. In the meantime, feel free to leave your thoughts on Plant's career moving forward in the comment section, and until next time, have a good one, and take care.